he got to do with all this?
Nothing, I guess. I know it sounds crazy, Bob, but I really love that awful place. I'm needed there. And every now and again I can help one of those women. I don't want to leave Wentworth. And I'll never let anyone pressure me into that decision, no matter how much I cared for them.
Meaning me?
Yes.
I don't know why it's always so cold in court. No wonder them judges wear fur coats.
Silence. All stand, please.
Here we go. He looks a nice enough old bloke. Shh. What?
Be seated, please. The court is now in session. All persons having business before the court are hereby commanded to give their attendance, and they shall be heard. God save the Queen. The Queen versus Wordsworth.
What a match, eh?
Your Honour, if it please the court, I appear for the Crown.
If it please the court, I appear for the appellant.
Thank you, Mr. Baldwin. You may proceed.
If it please the court. The matter before your Honour is the appeal of Elizabeth Josephine Wordsworth against the decision of Mr. Justice Smart. In no way does my client wish to question the court in which the case was heard, but rather we seek to establish our grounds of appeal in terms of the severity of sentence. While refraining from giving a detailed review of the evidence as given in the case, I shall endeavour to establish that the circumstances indicated a significantly reduced culpability on the part of my client, a fact which, in our opinion, was overlooked at the time of sentence.
Oh, Frank, that's wonderful. Doreen will be excited when I tell her the news. Of course. And give my love to Alice, won't you? Goodbye. I've just had a call from Wentworth General Hospital. It appears they'll be employing Doreen as a nursing aide after her release.
Well, I suppose she can't do much harm there.
On the contrary, I think she'll be extremely good. Now, what was it you wanted to see me about?
I wanted to talk to you about the rosters.
Oh, yes. They're becoming quite a problem, aren't they?
I think it's critical. The amount of overtime and double shifts that people are doing is ridiculous.
Well, I have spoken to the department about it, but there just doesn't seem to be the manpower available.
Well, it's morale and stamina that worries me. I mean, you take a look at Miss Bennett. I think it's beginning to take its toll.
Yes, I agree with you. And even when Mrs. Jackson gets back on duty, she still will only be on light duties. Well, I'll simply have to tackle the department again about it. I'll let you know how I get on. Oh, and would you have Doreen send to me, please? I'd like to tell her the good news.
Right.
Classic Interiors. Hi, Jim.
I've been trying to reach you for days. Where have you been?
There's a lot happening at the moment. A couple of big jobs.
You okay?
I'm fine. Just overworked, that's all. Jim, I'm going to have to rush off. You were lucky to catch me in.
Well, when can I see you again?
It's a bit hectic now. Could we leave it till later? Look, I must rush. I'll see you later.
Look, before you settle yourself down, would you get Burns from Mrs. Davidson, please?
Now?
Yes, straight away, please.
In 1967, in the case The Crown versus Hammersley, we have a clear example of diminished responsibility. I cite page 610 from the transcript, in which Mr. Justice Gordon refers to the matter. In his judgment, he quotes this. Yes, His Honour quotes this. Where it can be manifestly demonstrated that the motive for an assault...
Excuse me, Your Honour, this isn't what I wanted to hear him saying.
You're not happy with your counsel?
Oh, yeah, he's real good. But I want you to know more about me, not them people he's talking about.
Are you dismissing your counsel?
Oh, no, I'm just trying to help him on.
Mr. Baldwin, your client appears to have taken over your brief. I take it you have no objections?
The ball is in Mrs. Birdsworth's court, as it were.
Indeed. Now then, Mrs. Birdsworth, in what way would you like to assist Mr. Baldwin?
Well, you see, I want you to know that I'm 72. And I got a crook ticker. It could go on me at any time.
I do have documentation.
No, I'm sure that won't be necessary. Go on, Mrs. Birdsworth.
Well, my family's in America. Me little granddaughter Josie's got a bone marrow disease and she had to go to Chicago for treatment.
For how long?
I don't know. But if I've got to do 5 more years, I could be dead before I get out. I don't suppose you know, but I've been in Wentworth for 20 years and I wasn't even guilty. God, 20 rotten years for something I didn't even do, and now I've copped this lot on top of it. I don't want to die in prison. I just want to be with me family. I'm an old woman, Your Honour. God, in another 5 years, I'll be 77. Don't you see? Oh, now I'm going to bail it all.
Some water, please, Mr. Thompson.
Your Honour, in view of my client's obvious frailty, might I suggest an adjournment?
No, I'll be all right. I just went funny for a sec. Now let me think, where was I?
Are you sure you want to continue?
Of course I do. I'm not going to let a little turn like that put me off.
Mrs. Birdsworth, I admire your tenacity. However, I have no wish to see you in discomfort. Gentlemen, Mrs. Birdsworth, I have a suggestion to make. Oh, please sit down, Mrs. Birdsworth. With your agreement, Mr. Baldwin, and yours, Mr. Nicholson, I would like to adjourn this hearing to a conference in my chambers.
I have no objection, Your Honour, other than to ask that my client, or should I say my colleague, Mrs. Birdsworth, join us.
Yes, of course. Mr. Nicholson?
No objection, Your Honour.
Fine. Then we shall adjourn to confer in chambers.
Come in. Oh, thank you, Mrs. Carter. Sit down, Doreen. I have some news for you.
About the nursing aid job?
Yes, it is. I presume you still want to work there.
Oh, yes, Mrs. Davidson. I really love those little kids.
Well, Dr. Henderson considers you have quite a skill with small children.
He told you that?
Yes. And what's more, he's prepared to engage you there for a while on a trial basis.
What does that mean?
It simply means that you can decide whether you like the work, and the hospital can decide whether you're suitable.
Oh, I see.
Well, there's no need for you to be nervous. I'm sure you'll do extremely well.
Yeah, I hope so.
Well, you're due for release Thursday afternoon. Dr. Henderson will expect you in his office on Friday morning at 9 o'clock.
Oh, well, I'll be there, no worries.
You know, Doreen, I think this will be a whole new start for you.
Oh, don't worry, Mrs. Davidson. I'll be real good for you this time. I'm a bit nervous, though.
Well, there's no need for you to be nervous. You love children, and I'm sure you'll be good with them. If you do have any problems, Dr. Henderson will be only too willing to help you.
Yeah, I suppose so.
I'm sure of it. Now, about accommodation. Are you going to live in your mother's house?
Well, yeah, I reckon I will, although it's an awful lot of house for one person, though.
Well, perhaps you can find someone to share.
I wish it was Lizzie.
Yes, it's hard to leave old friends.